Hey y'all, Happy New Year. My name is Janera Sid, for those who don't know. You can also call me Sid, Sydney, whichever one works best for y'all. I don't really mind. And I wanted to start off the new year by dusting off my old YouTube account and sharing my artwork with a new audience on here because I know that not everybody is on like other social media apps like Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and those places are where I primarily share my artwork. So I was like, you know what? It's a new year. I love watching other people's processes on YouTube videos, especially with voiceovers. And you never know if others will also want to see how you do things. So I was like, let me bring my work here. So I just finished off the sketch and now I'm just laying the flat colors of my OCs. Their names are Pam, who's on the right, and Rani, who's on the left. And originally, like, I was experimenting with colors. Pam was in like green at the very start, but I wanted there to be some sort of contrast because in their original designs, like, they're both wearing green, but I was like, I don't want them to wear green both this time around. So I was like, let me do something different. And I put Pam in brown. And y'all, I love Pam wearing brown. So I'm gonna have to experiment with her in that color in the future. So there is a bunch of white space in the background originally because this wasn't really meant, like, I didn't go into this with the intention of making it a finished piece, but when I decided to do more with it, I was like, why don't I just add some stuff to the background so it doesn't feel so bare? And I decided to add some type of reciprocity because, like, we see the kiss mark on Ronnie's face, and I was like, well, what would it look like if Ronnie kissed Pam back? So I was like, I'll just add in some cute things in the background showing them like sharing or giving affection to each other. So as for the background to the characters, they're still relatively new. Like, I know some things, like they're a couple, but there are a lot of other things that I've planned out, but I'm still filling them out and wondering what I'm gonna do next. In a few moments you'll see me like there. I was trying to figure out their zodiac signs, and I think I posted a poll on my Instagram, and I think most people said Pam was a Leo or Libra, and most people thought Ronnie was, if I remember correctly, most people thought she was an Aquarius, or I think Aquarius and Cancer, or I think Aries might have been up there. But yeah, comment down below or just share, feel free, what you think their zodiac signs are. I'm still working it out, but for now, Pam is a Leo. Originally she was a Libra, but I changed it to Leo. And then Ronnie is an Aquarius because I like the idea of them being astrological opposites. But you know, that could change in the future. So prior to me saying this, let me know what you think their zodiac signs are. For Pam, I'd only change her zodiac sign. I might consider her being a Scorpio because she was partially inspired by Dorothy Dandridge. I referenced her in one of Pam's portraits. And Dorothy Dandridge was born on November 8th, and I would love to make Pam, I would love to have them share a birthday, but I don't know, we'll see. So at this point in the process, I had gone and colored over the like sketchy lines because I think it was at this point when it really solidified that I wanted to do more with this piece. But y'all know those times when you sketch something and then you decide, hey, like, maybe I should turn this into something more, but you are so attached to the sketch. That's exactly what was happening here. So at this point, I was experimenting with their hairstyles. Like, I gave Ronnie frontal bangs and like hair clips for like 2 seconds, and then I didn't love them enough to keep them. Same with Pam. I was showing her natural hair color at the roots because as it stands now, her hair is dyed, but I'm trying to like figure out how to work that into her characterization, like her dyeing her hair. And I have a few ideas at the moment, but nothing is set in stone. So we'll see how that builds up in the future. So in the background, I'm just laying down the flat colors of the chibis that I added in earlier, and I didn't want to do too much detail on them because I didn't want there to be too much visual clutter when it came to the detail in the background versus the foreground. So I went back to my roots and did a more flat colored lineless art style, which y'all, I haven't done that in a minute. I might actually do that. Maybe, I mean, I always say like I might do it sometime in the future because I like experimenting with different styles. So, I mean, I'll definitely bring it back sometime. But I used to do it early on in my digital art career because I was going through a phase where I didn't really like how like the outside line art looked. But eventually I think I found something that worked, and I think the key was like line weight. Like here you can see something that helped me was rendering and painting over, but you have some lines that are thicker, like on the back of Ronnie's sweater, ones on Pam's arms, around her upper arm, and the lines are thinner, like on Pam's leg, on Ronnie's sleeve, the sleeve that's on around Pam's waist. And yeah, I just found what worked for me, and I'm glad because lines can really say a lot in your style. But then again, no lines can, do whatever works best for you. So at this point is when I decided to make it a cute little Christmas card to be in line with the Christmas spirit, because I think I finished this by Christmas, but I can't remember if I uploaded it the day of Christmas or the day after. But yeah, and I thought it'd be a cute little card that they'd send to friends and family, And then at this point is when this was supposed to just be a flat colored piece because I love it when artists are able to just do flat colors and make it look sleek and done. And that's what I was gonna do, but I caved, y'all. I wanted to add shading to make it more dimensional because I wasn't gonna add any like intense lighting, how sometimes I'll do. So I was like, you know what? Let me just add a bit of shading and make it dimensional. So at this point, I'm just really putting in some finishing touches, making sure everything looks good. Y'all, the back was still bare to me even after adding those chibis. So I decided to add in some mini Christmas trees and mistletoe to tie it into the festive Christmas card theme. So I wanted to briefly talk about their names because I love naming my characters with intention, and these two went through a couple name changes because not that their previous names were bad, but I wanted to have names that felt more like their meanings to be more connected with their storyline. So Pam's original name was Mallory, and Mallory was she's a revamp of an old OC. And as I spent more time on her and her design, I wanted something different. And I was experimenting with the concept of having a character whose name was an acronym. And so her name, Pam, stands for her full name, Patricia Ann Miller. But she doesn't really like Patricia that much, so she just goes by Pam. And Ronnie's original name was Rhea, which I love the name Rhea. I might change it back, but I also might use it for a different character. I don't know. But the name Rhea means graceful and singer. And honestly, graceful would kind of fit her still. Like her original design, I'll put it up here. Her outfit was flowy green. People said it reminded them of Tinkerbell, and recently someone said that she reminded them of Tiana, which I love Tiana and Tinkerbell. So those are like some of my favorite compliments, especially for her. But I also love the meaning of the name Rani, which means true image and bringer of victory. And it reminds me of one of my favorite songs, Help Me Rhonda by the Beach Boys. But I didn't want to name her Rhonda, not because Rhonda's a bad name, but because I also didn't feel connected to the name. So, but who knows? The names could change over time, because that's the beauty of creating characters and then creating in general. Like, you're experimenting and you're doing what works best for you and your character. So if you feel the need to change whatever, as long as you're not, hurting anybody or community, you do you. So at this point, I'm still putting finishing touches on everything and rendering, aka freestyling, because to me, that's what rendering is. Um, I try to fix Pam's pocket. I guess I did, even though the pocket is still shallow, but like, it's okay. It's not that deep. And earlier I had to fix Ronnie's hands because I didn't want to leave them undefined while the rest of the piece was more or less defined and detailed. And what's funny is I lost the original reference up until like the middle slash end of the piece. But by the time I found it, it was kind of, I don't know, redundant, because I figured most things out. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to fix it. And here, y'all, I don't know why the camera did that, but it's funny, so I decided to keep it in. Here's the final piece. And thank y'all for tuning into my first YouTube video. I really appreciate it. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Bye, y'all.